Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you guys again. I haven't done an astrology video in a while, so it's time to get back. So I want to welcome you here to H Ministries / Rising Mystics Institute, where we talk about all kinds of things. But this specific message today is going to be regarding astrology. Astrology. How many of you like astrology? Astrology is awesome. It is powerful. All right. Now, in the Bible, many of you that watch this channel here and that know me are kind of from a Christian background. But what a lot of people are not aware of, that in your Bible, King James Version or whatever version you have there, you will find that there are three types basically of prophets that are mentioned. That's when you read it like from the original Hebrew and translate the words. And however, in the English, it may just say prophet or whatever your language that you speak, it will just say prophet. But in the original, there's about three different words that's used to describe a prophet. One of the words is ra'ah. Ra'ah. That's the one that a lot of people are aware of. That is the seer prophet. For example, when you go to 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 9, it speaks about the people at one time that they were called seers, but they were also called prophets. And so it uses the word ra'ah there. Those are those that have a clairvoyant gift. They can see. The third eye is open. They have visions or they have dreams and they see things very clearly, clairvoyancy. But there's another type of prophet also. It's called the Nabi. You find in Genesis 20, verse 7, is the first time that is used there. And it's the word Nabi, which means basically a gusher. It means to speak by inspiration. Modern day translation would be channeling. I do that a lot, right? Those of you that know me, and that's a part of my institute, we just get on and we just flow, just begin to just channel the word of the Lord. And things just happen, as well as see. I've written writings on my website, atam.org, for all over a decade. It's called the IC page because I do actually see. But there's another type of prophet that very few people know about, and it's called Jose. Jose, like a person's name, Jose, right? Jose. Now, that is mentioned like in Second Chronicles chapter 2, verse 11. And it speaks about a man by the name of Gad, that he was a David's prophets or David's seer, some translations say, but the original word there's Jose. And what a lot of people don't know is the word Jose in the original Hebrew. It means, yes, a seer, but it also means a stargazer. A stargazer, one who reads the heavens and can see visions and forecast or foretell or interpret what the heavens are saying. That's what I do. So I'm a Jose. I also operate as a Nabi. I also operate as a Ra'ah. Okay. But just for your understanding, and you find that there was a man by the name of Gad that traveled with David. He was David's stargazer, as well as he had Nathan, as well as there was Samuel that was there. And so he was fully covered with all three areas of the prophetic. And that's one of the reasons why he was very successful. Now into this message here. This message here is about the coming up full moon. And I've been trying to get to it for about a week. And finally, I got some time here late at night to just begin to share some things about this full moon in Aries that's coming up October 9th and 10th, October 9th and 10th, wherever you are. Matter of fact, it's going to be a blood red moon. So it's going to be very powerful. And it's also called the Hunter's Moon. And it's going to be completely full around 1:55 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And what I'm going to do now, I've cast a chart. And so I'm going to just go to this chart. I'm going to begin to read this chart for you. And I'm going to tap into the Jose. Where I look at the stars. I don't have to go and get a telescope. I got one of those to look at the stars and find it. But we thank God for, modern technology that we can see the stars, and that makes it much easier for us in case we're living in an area where it's very overcast, like some of you that are in England or in other places, Seattle or whatever, many times it's overcast. Okay, so I'm going to just get this here, and then we're going to go into it, and I'm going to share some thoughts here with you, share some prophetic insight and some inspiration here with you here. Okay, now let's see. I believe that you can see that. And let me just make it bigger so I can see it also. Okay, let me just adjust this up a little bit here. Okay, now I can see it. Okay, as you see it here, it will have the date October the 9th. That's what I cast it for. That's a few days from now. And 1:55 p.m., 1:55, 1:54, that's when the moon will be full, right around that time. And this is where the planets will be at during that time. And what I want to do is just kind of like break this down to you because this is a very important full moon. We are in a new season. Okay, we're in autumn, right? The sun is in Libra, and the scales, that are there to bring balance to our life and to bring justice and many other things and stuff. But we're in a very, very crucial time. We go through these various periods, right, where things are happening on the planet if we are watchful. But even if you don't know what the heavens are saying, if you are somewhat intuitive or sensitive, you will know that things are happening. Okay, and for example, right now we're in a time of great planetary shifts. Great planetary shifts. What do you mean? If you look at this chart here, you'll see this little R. For example, I'm down here in the second house. I'll go to the first house here. You see Saturn here, and then you see this little R, which means that Saturn is in retrograde. You see that Neptune is in retrograde. You see that Jupiter is in retrograde. You see that Chiron is in retrograde. You see that Rahu is in retrograde. You will see that Uranus is in retrograde. So you see all of these planets that are in retrograde, and but they are about to go stationary direct. Matter of fact, on the second, Mercury here already went stationary direct. What do you mean by stationary direct? It means that the planet appears to just stop moving after going in a backward motion for some time, and then all at once it stops. And it just gathers up a lot of energy, and then it starts to move forward. And that's a very powerful time because it creates a shift on the planet in energy, okay, whether it is one planet or whether it is many planets. And we've had 6 planets that were in retrograde just recently here, and now everything is about to move forward. And so here we are in the autumn season, in this new season, and we got this first full moon, blood red moon. Some are even calling it a double full moon because you will be able to see it as full for like 2 nights, and it should be probably blood red where you see it at. And it's a very powerful sign that is there in the heavens. And so this is signifying just a planetary shift that is taking place with the planets that are starting to go stationary direct. Okay, so we had Mercury go stationary direct in Virgo here. Okay, just a few days ago here. Okay, so now direct. And then we're going to have Pluto go stationary direct here in Capricorn, 26 degrees of Capricorn. We have it here. Well, this map here, this chart here is showing already on the 9th. So by the 8th, it will go stationary direct. And so the 9th, it will be stationary direct. But this is a very powerful sign. And because it's a very slow moving planet, and it takes about 246 years before it completes its cycle, throughout the zodiacal cycle and stuff. So it's going to be there stationary for several months, building up energy. And that is very powerful because Pluto is a very powerful planet, and it's going to be digging deep, and then it's going to go forward. And it is in Capricorn, which is the house of governments, banking, institutions of higher learning, and major corporations, and all of that stuff, right? And so that's really big because of what's about to happen there. And then we have like Saturn. Where's my Saturn here? Saturn is going to go stationary direct in October 23rd, in Aquarius. Okay, so that's going to be another big move here. But we're not really going to deal a whole lot with the planets going direct. I just want to throw that out there for you, that you're at the very beginning of a planetary shift. And so that means that there's going to be a huge shift in consciousness. It's going to be a huge shift on the planet. Things are going to change very fast. I've been talking about this season since last year, and January the 3rd, we did a prophetic insight thing for the whole year. And I refer to this time, the fall season, where things were going to go crazy for a lot of people. Now, it doesn't have to go crazy for you just because people decide to be on a lower vibration and be involved with all the craziness and stuff. So that doesn't have to be your story. But if you're looking, you will see things just go extreme. And this full moon here is setting everything off. Matter of fact, we're feeling the energy of it already, and of things that are happening. And that's how powerful it is. And this is going to go right on throughout the fall and winter with an increase of this, because you got Pluto here that is digging in deep and is just building up momentum right in place without moving forward. Then it's going to start to move forward there in Capricorn. But let's just go to this full moon here. Right now, you'll see this. This is going to be on the 9th. This full moon here. So we have the moon here that's going to be 16 degrees of Aries. And so here we have the sun here at 16 degrees of Libra here. And so I want to just talk about this here. And I want to try to deal a little with astrology, but also maybe throw a little bit metaphysics also, because it covers a whole lot. Now, I won't be able to touch on just everything and every point here, but I just want to just highlight the full moon that's taking place, which represent things are coming to a head. Things are filling up and things are going to just come into a head. That's the only way I can say it. And you notice that it is in Aries. And Aries is the beginning of the zodiacal sign, the beginning of the year, okay, which means the head, the beginning. And so things are coming up. Things are beginning to change in a very big way. Now, the 16 degrees, if you look at one side of it in astrology, it's not necessarily a positive thing. Okay. And remember, when I am reading the heavens and saying these things, this does not have to be your story. Okay. I'm only reading the heavens so that you can be aware. So the 16 degrees is about midway mark of the degrees and stuff. And so it gives the idea of this peak, and you're about to go further to end this this cycle of degrees, okay, where it's at. And so it speaks of basically challenges, many challenges coming up. It speaks of like conflict and things of that sort. One way of looking at it is it could represent like midlife crisis. Some of you know what that is like, you know, where everything is just, you don't know what is going on, right? And so that's where we are now in the world situation, and that a lot of people will be experiencing in their personal lives if they're not anchored, if they are not tapped into the energies of Libra that brings balance, okay, the scales here. All right, so I want to just tell you also that with these planets going direct, and with this full moon that is taking place, the zodiac signs that's going to really be affected by that, feel it the most, will be Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Okay, those are all signs that are on the world axis here. Okay. And so those are the signs that are going to be affected the most by it, and that may feel the impact of it. And Pluto is going to seem like, or make it feels like, maybe you're being controlled. You just got to just break free from whatever is going on. And so it is okay to feel those feelings here. Okay, but here we want to get to this full moon here, and the 16 degrees here, and the things of that sort. And, you know, if you would look at it numerically on the positive side, because there is the positive and the negative, the light and the shadow, 1 + 6 is 7. And so, which represents completion of some things, because the moon is full. And so it speaks of things coming to an end, completion. And then you see even with the number 7, the way it's shaped, it represents the connection between heaven and earth. And so for those of us that are grounded and trying to practice our spirituality and practicing our spirituality and stuff, it is a wonderful time, because it is a time to connect between the heavens, the higher realm, and the lower realms, and to bring balance to everything and move from duality into oneness. Now, as I said said that this full moon is taking place in Aries. Here, you see this is a symbol for Aries at 16 degrees and 32 minutes there. That's what it represents there. And so Aries represents the head, and it speaks of you're moving out from things, and you're bringing closure to things. Now, Aries speaks of moving forward. And so one of the positive things that this full moon is going to bring is just strength and courage. It's going to bring boldness. It's going to just give you motivation to just move forward, especially if you're connected with the Libra energy of balance that is taking place, and you are true to yourself, and you're authentic and not lying to yourself. Okay. And that makes a big difference. And so you're going to be able to move forward. You're going to be able to really just accomplish some things because of this energy that is there. Now, because Aries is ruled by Mars, and that gives you that fight. It gives you that ability to stand and to go through whatever it is that you need to go through to get to the other side. Okay. But I want you to look at this here. This is Chiron. This is what I call the key to the kingdom, the key to your life. I like Chiron. It represents it's like the wounded healer. And so, but you have this this conjunct here. Chiron is 14 degrees of Aries, and you have the full moon is 16 degrees. And so there's a close conjunct. And so what the heavens are telling us is this, is that, you know, you're going to have to deal with your emotional stuff. You're going to have to deal with wounds and trauma and hurt, because the moon represents emotions. It's what you feel, right? And here is Chiron here represents the hurts, the traumas, and the emotional things also. And so you might find some of these things coming to the surface, and they're coming to the surface because there's another level of healing that must take place. And so this full moon is about getting to that next level of healing and experiencing whatever it is that you need to experience, and allow it to be healed. Allow all those emotions to be healed. Okay, and you can do this by tapping into this Aries experience or Aries energy and fight through this. If you have to fight through this, you know, get through it, because this Chiron here is not only just representing your trauma or your hurts or your past wounds and stuff, but this is your key to your destiny. This is the key. See, it's in the shape of a key there, and this is the key to open doors for you. And so what the heavens are saying to you, if you can really go deep within and deal with things, that you will unlock doors within you. You will unlock doors of consciousness within you spiritually, but this will also launch you forward into your career, into a better family life, or whatever it is. But this is the key here. And so you have to use that key to unlock those doors there. And the only way you can do that is by dealing with the stuff that is there, because we have this close conjunct. They're telling us that we all have to do this. Okay. Also, this Chiron here that is connected or conjuncted with the moon in Aries. Aries is the head. This is just a warning. As I was putting this chart together and meditating and stuff, you know, I just want to throw this out there. You know, if you know people, or if you may be someone that have some type of like issues regarding the brain, nervousness, or epilepsy, or things of that sort, you don't have to accept this, that this is going to be your reality. But I'm just only showing you that the heavens are saying that during this phase, during this full moon, coming up to that, and after, several days after, some people will be feeling really not balanced, you know, chemically not balanced and stuff, and just not being able to connect, and maybe not even seeming rational. So if you know people that may be on types of different medications, make sure that they, you know, get what they need so that they can stay balanced, because this full moon here is going to bring up a lot of stuff. It's going to bring up a lot of negativity within a lot of people that are out of balance. And we're already seeing this happen. Just today, I think it was in Thailand, there was this man that went into the school and killed over 30 some people, small kids, you know, and people are just out of balance. Then you have this knife attack on the strip in Las Vegas, just crazy random stuff. As we come up to this full moon, notice where the full moon is. It's in Aries. That's the sign of the warrior. That's the sign of violence and fighting also. And so we find that people that are not like in tune to spirit, as we call it, or balance and stuff, not seeking God, they will be going off. All these emotions will be flooding their mind and they will not be rational. And so you have to be careful when you're out and around. Be watchful. I'm not saying be afraid, but be watchful and be aware because of what the heavens are basically saying, because a lot of stuff is going to be coming up within people's lives and stuff. And so if you know of people that have issues and stuff, family members, I would say pray over them, start praying over them, speaking to them, prophesying into them, laying hands on them. You have kids, grandkids, or whatever, and trying to keep them balanced. If you happen to run into someone outside somewhere, or even in your home and stuff, that is seeming really, really agitated, don't feel that you have to be right. Don't feel that you have to make your point, acquiesce. Just let them have their way, let them have their say, because I'm telling you, over the next week, there's going to be crazy things happening within a lot of people's lives across the planet and stuff. So that's just basically what the heavens are saying for us with that. So yet further, again, we're going to see an increase. This is showing like an increase of rage, anger, violence. And what you will also see happening in the war theaters around the world, everything will start to accelerate, because you have this happening at 16 degrees in Aries, and Mars, the god of war, controls it. And here's Mars right here. And you find he's there in Gemini there, and you find this aspect that is going right to midheaven. And so you find people that have they're just intent on fighting, intent on arguing, intent on their intent is just to disrupt things. Okay, so that is basically speaking to that, is what I'm seeing in that. Okay, let's go a little bit further here. Didn't mean to really get that far there, but wanted to just warn you about the acceleration of that. While I'm on that, I'm just sensing and just seeing now that back in July I was warning, well, actually back in January I was warning and telling people, I say Russia is going to start the war in Ukraine. And I said by the summer months, there will be the talk of nuclear. And I posted that in the July video. And so as I'm sitting here now, and it seems like that kind of phase and passed, although there was a lot of stuff in the news about it, but I see that coming up again. I see that coming up again more in this month, between October and December, more talk of nuclear things happening with Russia regarding Ukraine. But as I warned you before, I can't be for sure that Russia will do this. It could be done, and Russia might get the blame for it. That's all I'll say, because I'm sensing some things and I'm seeing some things, and so we want to just be thinking and praying for that region over there, because we don't want anything like that to happen. But the heavens are basically telling us this, that potential is there with this full moon that's taking place, and plus the eclipses that will be coming up. I'll be talking about those later in another video, probably maybe within the next day or so. Okay, so I want to just go on here now, and I think I'm going to deal with the sun here. I've dealt with the conjunct between the full moon and Chiron. Now you see here the sun is conjunct with Venus. And you see the sun is 16 degrees of Libra, and you see Venus is 13 degrees of Libra here, and it's opposite there, right? Okay, and so now whenever you have the sun this close to a planet, or a planet this close to the sun, is called combustion, because that means that the power and the light of the sun is basically overpowering that energy there. And so we know that Venus represents love and beauty, creativity, and all of these wonderful things there. But with this combustion, Venus is combust with the sun with this type of conjunct, only I think it's 3 degrees there in about 23 minutes or so apart is going to be there. And so that is saying for those of you that are in relationships, you really want to walk softly. You really want to stay just in favor with the spouse, the husband, the wife, or whatever, because things can just really blow up and get way out of proportion really fast, especially with the moon, which is feminine energy that is there, that's going to be full. And then you have Venus up here that's being combusted by the sun. And so this speaks of can bring about some critical things and can bring about some really challenges in the area of relationship. It don't have to, but those of you that are in relationships, so maybe go out, buy some flowers, go out to dinner, do something special before this full moon and on the full moon the next several days, just to make sure that everything is going really well, because this combustion here is just telling us to be aware that it speaks of challenges that is taking place, that could take place in your relationship. And you notice that this is in Libra. Now, it is the 7th house, okay, which is the house of relationships, the house of relationship. So guard your relationships, pray over your relationships, do the right thing, love each other. Okay, now let me go on here and see where else I'm going to go with this. All right. Okay, let's just look at Mercury here. And you will see here, Mercury is in Virgo, 28 degrees of Virgo. But I want to go down here and you see that it is in opposition with Neptune, that is 23 degrees in Pisces. Wow. And so this is saying a whole lot for us and stuff. And one of the things that this opposition is saying for us, see, let me just back up a little bit here. Mercury represents communication, okay? And on a broader range, it represents media and things of that sort. And so you see that during this time of the full moon, that it's going to be in opposition with Neptune. Neptune, it represents spirituality, but it also represents the dream world, illusions, deceptions, and things of that sort. And so as I was meditating on this evening and stuff, I'm going to just tell you that you are about to see the media just go into deception, fake news, lying, overdrive. And it's going to be hard for people to believe or to know what is truth and what is not. Because, you thought that they were lying, all this time. You see these leaders and these politicians that get up there and just lie, and just don't think nothing of it. It's about to go crazy with this opposition here. And those who are on the edge, or those who have different parties that they believe in, that they're trusted in, they're going to be caught up in this illusion, and it's going to be really real to them. I'm not trying to get political here at all, but you don't have a party. You really don't. It's their party. You just get to promote it and pay for it. It's their party. And so, if you understood that, you won't get into all the drama that is being created, but things are about to go really crazy with the lying and with the deception and with the manipulation there with this opposition here. And then you also find that Jupiter is right there, okay, in the 2nd house with Neptune. That's going to blow stuff up. It's going to expand. Everything is going to be very exaggerated. And so I'm going to be doing another video about the eclipses that's coming up. But, looking at the astrology and stuff, I'm not for sure how the election season is going to go that's coming up here pretty soon, within about a month or so. I'm not for sure there's going to even be an election. There probably will, but it's going to be a whole lot of chaos. It's going to be a whole lot of craziness and stuff. It's what the heavens are basically saying here with this. Now, I'm going to just go a little bit further. Let's go to Saturn here in the first house that is squaring with Uranus. Okay. Now we have Saturn that is in Aquarius, okay? And we have Uranus that is in Taurus. Now, Saturn is a teacher. He's also there to bring restriction boundaries, and Saturn represents the past, So he wants to bring us back, to things the way that they were, make America great again, and all these other kinds of things like that. And and Uranus is saying, no, 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 let's go forward. Let's go forward. Okay, Saturn is there saying, hey, let's remember all of these things that this person did to me that was wrong, bad, or whatever like that, and just kind of like just mull it around for a while. Like, and Uranus is saying, no, 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 let's just forget that and let's just move on, right? Okay, but we see both of these planets at 18 degrees, in their signs here. And so this is the struggle. And you see the squaring here is on the negative side, it represents this tug of war that you are seeing that is played out already, but it's going to intensify with this full moon that's taking place. You're going to have one side that's wanting to go back, and another side is saying, let's go forward. And so it's creating a whole lot of tension. But on the positive side, it's giving an opportunity to really, really just look at things the way they are and to make some really good choices. And so you have Uranus here that's 18 degrees in Taurus. Now, Taurus represents the house of finance, and you see that it is in retrograde here. And then you see that Saturn is in retrograde here, okay? And so, but Saturn will be moving forward on the 23rd, okay? And so it is yet going back. The planets are yet in retrograde, going back. So this is saying here that we're coming up to some very powerful changes, major changes in the finances area, in the economy. The news is letting you know that we know that, but the heavens are saying that it's going to be really interesting because you got Uranus here in the house of Taurus that is retrograde, and the house of Taurus controls like money, it controls real estate, it controls like food, land, and things of that sort. And so if you have something that you want to sell, an asset or house or something like that, this is the best time to do it, because I'm going to tell you that after this eclipse take place on the 25th, and with some of the other events that's going to be taking place around the 30th on to the 8th of November, you're going to see the market really just go down. It's gonna shake and it's gonna drop. Not only the stock market, but I'm stepping out on a limb here. You're gonna see the housing, the real estate market, and everything. It's gonna take a deep dive. We've been saying this since last year, but this is the season where it will start to manifest, and this is not going to be just for a few months or so. It's going to go on into next year. And so if you are selling something, this could be, I'm not giving any financial advice or anything, but this could be a time to just do that now, because after October, you might be trying to just catch up with the market, okay, because of the way things are going to be moving, because Saturn here is there at 18 degrees and is squaring with Uranus that's in Taurus at 18 degrees there. And it's going to create a lot of things. I want to say this also with this. I wrote down here, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, and I'll probably say this in the next video. You're coming up into a time where there's going to be quite a few big betrayals. And I'm talking about betrayals of, I'm just going to call the name. I'm going to say Trump. I don't vote for anyone, never have, okay? But some things are about to happen really fast, and you're going to see some people come out in the media with some stories that's going to even shock like him, and it's going to be very shocking, and it's going to be seen as a betrayal. And this is going to cause a downward slide even further. That's going to make things very crazy around the end of the month, the end of October into November. and stuff. And so we'll talk more about that in another video. But with these planets and the way that they are in the chart, it is showing us what is going to be taking place in the world system, as well as, in our personal lives here. And so you see here, this aspect here, going to Uranus, that shakes things up. And here is Capricorn here. And so Capricorn, as I say, rules government, people in politics, and CEOs in major industries and things like that. So everything is about to get shaken up, and Pluto is grinding down in Capricorn, and he's going to uncover everything. It's going to uncover everything. It's going to be shocking. It's going to be crazy. But still, we have this Neptune in opposition with Mercury. So a lot of people will not believe it, even though they see it. They will refuse to, because of the illusion that will be there. Okay, now I've talked about Mars here and what's coming up with that, and Mars in Gemini. You see this Gemini, one side of it represents duality, and you see that energy. That energy can be used very positively to be very, I guess, proactive, to be motivated to get things done. And but on the negative side, you see Gemini. Gemini is the ruling planet for Gemini is Mercury here, all right, and which controls like media, communications, and things of that sort. And you got Mars there at 22 degrees there, and so this speaks of can speak of like a lot of harsh language that you're going to be hearing more in the media, and where people are going to just be not holding back, and they're going to be saying things not only in the media but in your sphere maybe. And so we want to stay balanced. Remember, the sun is in Libra, and the universe is saying, hey, stay balanced, keep your cool, and don't get too upset. Mars in Gemini is also encouraging us that you don't necessarily have to speak your mind. Did you hear that? You don't necessarily have to give people a piece of your mind. But Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, represents communications. There's more than one way. There's more than one way to communicate. You can write things out. Okay. You can make a video, maybe send it to someone. And so the heavens is basically saying to us to avoid confrontation, major confrontations that could lead to relationships breaking up, whether it is romance, friendships, business, and things like that, because that energy is there. And with this full moon bringing everything to the surface, conjunct with Chiron, they're bringing back old wounds and allowing us to sometimes be triggered, and we're not handling the triggers properly and stuff. Things can come out of our mouth that we can't take back, and that can destroy relationships, destroy people's lives and stuff. And so that's basically it there. But just want to end on a more positive note. I guess you've noticed like the solar flares, the X-class solar flares that's been taking place. And we are having geomagnetic storms right now as I speak, which is very powerful. I'm just absorbing all that energy, because it's basically saying to us that we need to, I'm sorry, my phone is talking to me, is basically saying to us that we're being upgraded. So the planet is being upgraded, you are being upgraded, and it's a very powerful thing that is happening, despite all the other things that appear negative on the outside. We need to experience this upgrade, and we need to tap into spirit. All right, well, bless you with this, and hope you have a great full moon experience. And we're going to have another video probably in the next few days dealing with the eclipses that's coming up, and giving you some more prophetic insight into what will be happening and some things that we can pray about and can possibly change. Until then, don't forget to click the like button, as I forget to say, and subscribe to this channel. And so that you can get the notifications, click on the bell or whatever it is you're supposed to do, because you don't want to miss these prophetic insights from the heavens. Okay, because the heavens do declare. Whoops, that is not what I wanted to get there. I can find what I'm looking for here. Here it is. Okay.